Bible prophecy is active and unfolding daily. Zechariah 12, Isaiah 17, Psalm 83, Ezekiel 38. Here is what the LameStream Media is not telling you. Shalom, my friends. Welcome to this week's newscast. From the Jewish News Syndicate, the Taylor Force Act, which cuts financial aid to the Palestinian Authority unless it ends its payments to terrorists and their families, was passed by Congress last Thursday as part of a $1.3 trillion spending bill. And President Trump signed it into law on Friday. I don't understand. Is this like monopoly money? Where's it coming from? We don't have it, but we can give it. I don't get it, man. Anyway, the law allows for 3 humanitarian exceptions, including funding for Arab-Israeli water and childhood vaccination programs, as well as Eastern Jerusalem hospitals. The legislation also does not cut U.S. assistance to PA security forces. Passage of the Taylor Force Act is intended to serve as a shot across the bow to President Abbas, as he must be held accountable for the Palestinian Authority's record of incitement and subsidizing of terror. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told the Israeli cabinet on Sunday, quote, "The American Congress has passed the Taylor Force Act, which is named after an American student who was murdered in Jaffa, Taylor Force, who came from a wonderful family. It's designed to deny to the Palestinian Authority hundreds of millions of dollars that they invest in encouraging terrorism and lavish on terrorist families and the murderers themselves." I think that this is a very powerful signal from the U.S., which is changing the rules. It's unwilling to accept the truth of the past, or, I should say, the lies of the past. Close quote. Turning to my personal thoughts. Wow. Vanessa Wilkerson has swept me off my feet, my friends. Je suis means I am. As many of you know, Vanessa is regularly seen commenting and chatting in our weekly fellowships here on YouTube. But what you may not know is that she has her own YouTube channel where she feeds Yeshua's sheep in more ways than one. I was familiar with Vanessa's channel, I don't know, a year or more ago, but I thought it was mostly based on her recipes and cooking, which is pretty cool. But she's got more than that. I don't know, maybe recently she's putting stuff up. Anyway, you'll see a link to Vanessa's channel below where she gives you some great cooking recipes, but also another link to one of her other ways of feeding us, and that is the video that blew me away. It's titled Living Fake. Be sure to check Vanessa out, my friends, and subscribe to her channel. Also, I've added another playlist to my channel titled Brad Scott, Esau and the Tares, and it's 3 videos totaling approximately 3 hours of just more of Brad's amazing revelations for us to feast on. If you want some more of Brad's wonderful teaching, my friends, trust me, you will enjoy every minute of this presentation. Click the link below. Turning to wars and rumors of wars, on Saturday, March 24th, from the Daily Star, Russian airstrikes killed 37 civilians in the Arbain area of the shrinking rebel enclave of eastern Ghouta near Damascus overnight. Then on Sunday, March 25th, from Gaza Post, the Israeli army bombed a Hamas military compound in the Gaza Strip after a number of Arab Israelis allegedly breached the Gaza border fence and set fire to an army vehicle. No injuries were reported in the incident, which comes days before mass Arab-Israeli protests are set to take place along the Israel-Gaza border. Then from Iraqi news, Turkish troops backed by air coverage have been deployed in northern Iraq amid violent clashes with fighters of the Kurdistan Workers' Party. The forces are now stationed in the sub-district of Sidikan, northeast of the Kurdistan region's capital, and have already set up fixed barracks in the border triangle between Iraq, Syria, and Turkey. And now turning to our Intifada update. From Ynet News, in less than 6 months, the IDF has dealt with 7 terror tunnels, 6 by Hamas and 1 by Islamic Jihad. 4 of the tunnels were neutralized by engineering forces after approaching or touching Israeli territory, and the other 3 were bombed. In addition, the IDF has stepped up construction of an underground obstacle on the Gaza border in several places. The work is carried out 6 days a week, mostly by workers from Turkey, Romania, and Moldova, as well as Israeli Arabs. A land battery has been erected at every construction site to defend the workers from sniper fire or anti-tank missiles, and each laborer is required to wear a helmet and a bulletproof vest at all times. Then from the Jerusalem Center for Public Affairs, on March 30th, that's this Friday, Arab Israelis are planning to hold a March of Return to demand their right of return to Israel. The march is planned as the first stage in a series of protest activities to take place over the next few months. The declared tactical objective of the march is opposition to the U.S. initiative to resolve the Middle East conflict. Planned as if that's possible, right? Planned activities include a mass Arab-Israeli presence along the Gaza-Israel border and violent disturbances, including possible attempts to break through the border fence. Then from the Times of Israel, Israeli border police are planning to deploy a newly developed drone that can drop tear gas to disrupt Arab-Israeli demonstrators planning to march on the border fence between Israel and Gaza in the coming weeks. Beyond the fact that this equipment neutralizes any danger to the troops, it enables reaching places that until now could not be reached. From Haaretz, the intention is for thousands of Palestinians to remain near the fence until mid-May. Israel's preparing for large-scale protests that could turn violent, with attempts to cross the border fence and to perpetrate terror attacks. Israel's military has proved it can deal with marches and demonstrations well when it has time to prepare, and it will send troop reinforcements to the border. They will include snipers, border police units, and police with riot control training and equipment. The rules of engagement are: anyone who tries to cross the border will be subject to the suspect arrest protocol, that being firing in the air and then at the legs. And anyone who tries to injure soldiers will be hit. Now turning to our review of last week's news, the Taylor Force Act was passed by Congress last Thursday as part of a $1.3 trillion spending bill. Russian airstrikes killed 37 civilians in eastern Ghouta near Damascus overnight on Saturday. The Israeli army bombed a Hamas military compound in the Gaza Strip on Sunday. Turkish troops, backed by air coverage, have been deployed in northern Iraq. The IDF continues to deal with terror tunnels in Gaza, and Arab Israelis are planning to hold a March of Return this Friday, beginning this Friday, as the first stage in a series of protest activities to take place over the next few months. And that, my friends, is what the LameStream Media is not telling you. Abba willing, I'll see you here again next week. Until then, keep your wicks trimmed and keep your lamps burning bright. Shalom, my friends.
Crowded rooms, I need more space than I consume. Enough is time alone with you, underneath a naked moon, sharing confidential moods and making chatter. Mockingbird nocturnal sings notations of eternal things, entering the quantum breeze, flying not for want of wings. He lights his gaze on you and me, simply because we matter.